What's up, millionaires? This is your boy Millionaire E coming at you with a TV show episode review. Now, before we get started, I got a new shirt. Now, me and my mother were searching at Marshalls because I found out that Marshalls has some of the Lego Dimension story packs. We didn't find them in the Marshalls, but we did find a really cool shirt, which is the Boondock shirt. Now, this shirt is basically about a series called The Boondocks. And I'm not going to tell you much about it, but I'll tell you who are the characters who voice these characters here. So, if anybody's heard of Regina King voices both Huey and Riley, if I'm not mistaken. And also, Tara Strong is in there. And if you don't know who Tara Strong is, she voices Teen Titan, Powerpuff Girls, a couple of Timmy Turner, Fairly Odd Parents. And I think she's voiced a Harley Quinn. I just don't know one. And Mark Hamill. And if y'all know who Mark Hamill is, I'm going to tell you. Star Wars. Luke Skywalker. But so that's really cool. But we're going to be talking about Flash. And let me tell you, whoo-wee. This episode kind of had me a little bit like, I didn't like Flash. Now, I will explain. And before we get started, spoiler alert for anybody who's not seen the series or anybody who has not seen this episode. There are going to be some major spoilers. So let's get started. So, the first episode shows us the characters, but not all the characters. So the second episode, we get to see Cisco, Killer Frost, and I think that's all of them, So, we're sitting there, we're kind of watching it, since, like I said, spoiler alert, Nash died, and they're all sad about it. So they're sitting there, they're like, all the names of the wells, Coffee Wells, Sherlock Wells, everybody. They're all dead. But the room that they were in, that was interesting because it was the Flash Museum. And they were talking and, they were reminiscing on how the memories, and even Joe was kind of talking about how, we are stronger when we care for one another. But if you noticed, and to people who have seen the series, stayed in the series like if you noticed in basically the museum, there are artifacts from different seasons. So there was one season, there was basically a suit in there that was Nora's suit from, I think it was season 6 or 5, if I'm not mistaken. And just a little run up on that, Nora was a time traveler. That's all I'm gonna tell you. And then there was another device which was for Ronnie, which he died. Ronnie was Killer Frost's boyfriend. But that was like a long time in the Flash lore. But, so, he's talking about we're stronger together. And, Eva, she's just found out that she's fake. And that's all I'm going to tell you. I don't know how she became a clone, but her original died, and she's a clone now. And she's trying to keep that away from everybody. Because, her lackeys are like, hey, Eva, you're okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. And she's like, okay, so we're going to attack another, one of those bases that keep your husband's tech. And she's like, yeah, sure. And she's like, do I need to send all the villains in here? And she's like, nah, I'll do it myself. If they can't do something right, you got to do it yourself. So she's going to do it. But, Flash, since he's got his speed back, he's got super thinking. And what that means is he can have 5 million scenarios in his head at the same time. Like, he thinks faster than anybody. That is a good thing and a bad thing. Because, they're trying to figure out how to get Iris and Camille and Sage out of the Mirrorverse. And, Flash is like, I already found a way, y'all. We use the mirror, Eva McCullen's mirror powers to open up the gate. So, they create like this big, huge machine on his chest that, kind of absorbs some of the energy so then they can use it to open up the gate. The only problem is, so, they go over to the storage facility. Eva comes in, she's like, pew, 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 takes all, destroys the machine. But not the machine that Barry had, but this other machine that her husband created. She comes in there, Flash is like, hey, what's up? Let's have, Killer Frost come in. And Killer Frost is like, pew, pew, ice powers. So then, Flash gets this stuff. He gets like all the mirror stuff into his power suit. And there's this one part where literally Eva is about to hit, like she shoots Killer Frost. And Flash, he was literally about to run to save Killer Frost, but then he stopped. And it was like, Sis was like, bro, what you doing? It was like, there was no way to save her and then also save this. So now, he's starting to see people as objects now. Because, he does something else to Killer Frost without, like, any repercussions. It's not, like, anything bad or anything, but it's just like, bro, you gotta check to see if that's okay. But I'm not gonna spoil it for you. But I'm like, it's so bad. He even does, like, this one thing to Eve McCullen, which I'm like, yo, she's a villain, but she don't do that, man. That's just, that ain't right. And what he does is, Eve McCullen, like I said, she's trying to conceal her fake identity. She's sitting there talking to this talk host. She's just like, hey, yeah, this and that. I'm building a new world for everybody. Flash apparently hacks into the internet, into her internet, takes that video that is seen of her basically dying, her original basically dying, broadcasts that video on the TV behind Eva McCullen and the talk show host. So now everybody knows she's a fake. And I'm like, bro, you ain't gotta do her like that. You didn't have to do her like that, man. Like, there are other ways. We could have been like, hey, let's be friends. I know you're a clone, but you have no purpose. Why are you doing this? No. He was just like, I'm gonna snitch, and just bam. She's a fake, everybody. And the reason why I did that is because she wouldn't be like, she'd be so terrified or so embarrassed that she wouldn't be monitoring the Mirrorverse or anything so they could open up a portal. And that's all I'm gonna tell you, but this creates another villain. That's all. But the last part of the episode was a little bit confusing for me because, as I said, all Nash Wells died. But then the only one that survives is the one that basically Reverse Flash or Ebert Thawne killed and took his face. So he comes out of the ground like with some green sparkles and stuff and is like, I'm back. And I'm like, how are you back? But then, we get this whole, scene that looks like it came out of a horror movie. Like, they're at the police station, this lady cop, she comes in here, she's like, she goes into the elevator, and there's a big, huge mirror on the elevator. Yeah, you know where this is going. So she's looking at her phone or something, she drops her key, she looks down, these hands come out the mirror, and then all you hear is a scream, or screech, and then that's the end of the episode. And I will tell you, the trailer of the episode was it gave me like zombie apocalypse vibes. You know what? I'm going to call it mirror apocalypse vibes because that's basically what it was. They were like, everybody shut all the windows down. Break all the mirrors. You got like a whole bunch of army of Evas like walking up and I'm like, this is definitely like the zombie apocalypse except everybody is mirrors. But it's a really good show, and like I said, if y'all haven't watched it, y'all should watch seasons 1 through 6 to then, understand what's happening. And it's on Netflix, so y'all can go and study, because there's going to be a big test today. I'm just joking, but it's a really good show. Share the video with your fam, like it, subscribe, and if you're subscribed, click that bell icon to be notified for more videos. And in the comments, tell me what did you think about the episode. And I will see y'all later, millionaires. Bye, y'all.